Persons with disabilities, who make up a significant percentage of the population in Cameroon, often face different barriers such as access to infrastructure, housing, and transport. The 2010 disability law signed by the President of the Republic promotes the rights of persons with disabilities to access. However, majority of the population are still very ignorant of the law in general, reasons why persons with disabilities do not have easy access to public infrastructure and buildings. This has limited their benefiting from opportunities like jobs, education, and healthcare, amongst others.
We find it extremely difficult to access public structure, especially when we have problems and we have to go to offices to lobby for anything for ourselves. We find it extremely difficult. You come and sit down there, begging from left to right for people to carry you up. At times they carry you and fall, of which you can even dislocate your body and become worse.
The negative impact of inaccessibility to us as persons with disabilities is very huge because it limits us from engaging into mainstream activities like every other person does. We regularly need personal assistance to go around, of which if the environment was accessible, we will be able to go around doing our things without necessarily needing assistance.
Sometimes it's difficult for me learning the staircases. Sometimes the friends will be difficult for me. Therefore, sometimes it's difficult for me to
There is a ramp. It will make the movement easy because I will not depend on anyone. And I will just do my things at my own time, at my own convenience. And I will be sure that if I'm going to a place, say to attend an event, I can put on the dress I want to put on the shoe I want to put on, and I'm sure that when I'm reaching there, it will not be dirty because I will not have fallen in water. I will not also have jammed myself on many things that maybe was to be on the road and I'm not aware of.
You see, most of the offices, they don't have ramps which will permit people, us the persons with disability to go in to attend in most of the offices.
Even though the 2010 law provides for the rights to access to public buildings by persons with disabilities, it is still a far-fetched dream.
According to these laws, as far as access to structures is concerned, the structures, all public structures and para-public structures have to be built following the handicap approach, that is built in a way that it will be accessible to persons with disabilities. So that is what the law is saying. And even roads, the construction of roads has to take into consideration the situation of the blind, persons with mobility problems, and all persons with disabilities.
Persons with disabilities will feel fully included if their right to access to infrastructure is fully respected.
My recommendation is that there is a joint circular letter of the Ministry of Public Contracts and that of the Ministry of Social Affairs, Transport and other related services that guarantees every development or construction to consider the accessibility of persons with disabilities. If this law is implemented, then all development will cater for the need of all users, adopting the concept of universal design, which is more cheaper and more safer to use.
So my cry is that the government should do something to see that they create access for people with disability to their structure. The government should be the first to sensitize people on the law.
Emphasis should be laid, particularly in the field, so that all construction of roads and edifices which are public and para-public edifices should take into consideration the handicap approach and make sure that ramps are provided. for persons with disabilities so that they will be able to access all structures like any other person.
There is need for individuals, organizations, and all stakeholders to take measures that will facilitate persons with disabilities to access public buildings, private houses, as well as transport buses.